Salamun alaikum and welcome to another episode of Quranology Notes, a program on the Quranology Institute's YouTube channel. Today I'd like to talk to you about the preamble to chapter 2 Al-Baqarah. Chapter 2 is the longest chapter in Quran, and some people say that chapter 2 is the brief teachings of Quran or the summarized teachings of Quran. So you have Fatiha, chapter 1, in which the servant, us, we ask Allah for what we want in life. And chapter 2 gives you the brief answer in 286 verses. I'll tell you why I believe that this is an accurate guess. Simply because if you look at Al-Baqarah, the final ayah, it says, Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim. The path on which you have bestowed, you being Allah, you have bestowed your bounties. An'amta alayhim. In Baqarah, in no less than 3 separate occasions, Allah tells Bani Israel, which refers to all of us who are traveling towards Allah, if you like. In a metaphorical sense, we are headed towards a higher stage of consciousness. Allah tells us that He has already given that. In chapter 2, verse 40, Allah says, Ya Bani Israel, Adhkuru ni'mati yallati an'amtu alaykum. Ya Bani Israel, Adhkuru ni'mati yallati an'amtu alaykum. O Bani Israel, remember the favors which I have bestowed upon you. That's chapter 2, verse 40. In chapter 2, verse 47 and 122, Allah repeats that, but with a different phrase. It continues and says, وَأَنِّي فَضَّلْتُكُمْ عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ. So Allah is telling you, we say, An'amta, you have bestowed. Allah says, An'amtu, I have bestowed. So Allah is meeting us there. Allah is saying, okay, well, here it is. You want these bestowments, you get these bestowments. Allah is telling you. Okay, so that's Baqarah. But you see, Quran is such a structured text, and this is something which you will not usually hear. Usually you are told the Quran is a mishmash of notes of the Prophet's experience. It's not. It is a singular text giving you a structure which totally facilitates your understanding. So, and in this structured text, Baqarah has about 18 different sections. And if you look at the info section, I have given you a link in which I have shared the breakdown. And today, I'm sorry to only start this at the 3rd minute, but today I will tell you about the preamble of chapter 2. And that is in verses 1 to 20. So in these 20 verses, Allah is telling you about what is to come in the rest of Al-Baqarah. And the key to understanding this preamble is in the Alif Lam Mim. The first ayah, Alif Lam Mim. What is Alif Lam Mim? Well, in Islamic discourse, there are infinite opinions, there are many opinions on what Alif Lam Mim is. But I'll tell you my opinion, and I'll tell you why I chose this opinion. I believe that Alif Lam Mim depends on the function of each letter, Alif, Lam and Mim, in Arabic. Why do I say this? Because you can see the meaning in Quran itself, how a word changes when you use these 3 letters. Alif, for example, adds the dimension of questioning. For example, if you say tu'minu, you believe, and then you add alif, it becomes atu'minu, or do you believe? So alif is questioning something. Lam, it can be either directing you to something, li, to be for something, or la, which is to be emphasizing something. So lam is a focus or an emphasis. Mim is to enact something. For example, if you say a silm, the one who enacts a silm is a Muslim. Hence, the meme makes it an enactment. Sujud is to submit, and masjid is a place of submission. So you can see each letter has a function, and this is how I see these letters in this particular context of Alif Lam Mim. And when I do that, I see that the entire preamble becomes totally coherent with itself. In other words, everything hinges on this Alif Lam Mim. We start with chapter 2, verses 1 to 5, which is the first part of the preamble, the good guys. Yeah. So it says Alif Lam Mim, and then it says ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Alif Lam Mim is the kitab, where there is no doubt. Most people say that this is the Quran, but I can't see the Quran being mentioned anywhere near there. The Quran is actually mentioned in chapter 2, verse 185, which is quite a distance ahead. So I don't think it's the Quran. But it refers to dhalika, it's pointing that way, and dhalika is to Alif Lam Mim. So Allah is saying that Alif Lam Mim is a kitab, meaning that they interact together as a single process to produce something coherent. Alif Lam Mim. And Alif Lam Mim is a kitab in which there is no doubt. Now if you think about it, if you question something, thereby raising a possibility, and then you focus upon an issue, and then you enact, or you start experimenting with it, you can see that there will be no doubt in what you procure. For example, if you question, does a fire burn? And then you focus, okay, well here it is, here's a fire, let me test that out. And then you enact on it, you put your hand there, and it burns. There is no doubt in it. Why? Because it's existential, it is real, and you as the reader can experiment and see for yourself. So Allah says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. There is no doubt in it. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It's a guidance for those who are preserving themselves and they are aware. Hence, they are constantly on their guard. So Alif Lam Mim really elucidates this for me. And then it says, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. They believe in the unseen. Unseen here is the result of the Alif Lam Mim. وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. And they establish the links. In other words, they could make the link, the logical link. They could be establishing relationships towards producing those results. Or they could be making links with other people as well. وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. And they spend out of what we bestow upon them. So whatever Allah gives us, we spend and we produce the result. And this is what leads, if you look at the next ayah, it says, وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ. Those who believe in what has been descended on you. So whatever knowledge you have, these people, the muttaqeen, they will believe in it. Why? Because it's real. It's based on reality. You see, so Alif Lam Mim, you can see, permeates through the entire meaning of chapter 2, verses 1 to 5. And finally, in verse 5, it says, أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَىٰ هُدًى مِّن رَبِّهِمْ. And these people are on the guidance from their Lord. Guidance means you are moving in a particular direction. It does not just mean conceptual guidance. It means you are actually progressing. أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَىٰ هُدًى مِّن رَبِّهِمْ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. And these are the ones who are succeeding or growing or progressing. You see? So Allah is giving you the formula in how a society moves ahead. Now, we're running short of time now. It's 10 minutes. I had planned for actual 5 minutes. That's not going to happen. So, we are now at verse 5. So, inshallah, in the next week, I will focus on verses 6 to 20, in which Allah tells you what happens for those who reject Alif Lam Mim. And you can see, for those who reject Alif Lam Mim, it is almost all societies in the world. Once they become complacent, they stop Alif Lam Mim, they become a stagnant society. So inshallah, I will see you next week, and I hope you can read chapter 2, the preamble, give it some thought, leave some comments for me. Thank you very much indeed, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.